back with Melinda McNutt, who's with the CDC. But for Linda, you've had me in suspense for months now.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Did you lose sleep over it? Yeah, a little bit. When were you here last?
It must have been sometime in May because the campaign kickoff was last Wednesday, June 17th.
May, and we're in.
So
going
maybe about a month or so.
Is it been? I thought it was longer than that.
I don't know.
You said at the time we have some things coming up, but I can't reveal them.
Yeah.
But today you can.
Yes.
Okay.
That secret that I had,
now tell us what the CDC is.
Okay. So the Civic Development Corporation, our mission is to improve quality of life in Ashtabula County. We've been around since 1959, and the first project that we conducted in 1959 was to raise the funds to build the Ashtabula YMCA. Then 5 years later, we raised the matching funds to build Kent State Ashtabula, and then 5 years later, we raised the funds to build Ashtabula Arts Center. And so those are just some of our signature projects, but we've completed over 200 projects in the last 56 years, and we just kicked off our 12th campaign. Since 1959, we've raised over $18 million, and this year we're looking to raise about $1.6 million and complete 14 projects, and then hopefully raise some extra money that we can have during the next 5 years in case additional projects come about.
Okay, you did that very well.
Thanks.
Now, let's get into some of the things that are coming up. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I figured you probably right off the bat want to know what's going on in Conneaut.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
okay. Okay, so we actually have 3 projects. The first one is the Conneaut Arts Center. We are raising money for some capital improvement projects. Did you know that the Conneaut Arts Center does not have air conditioning?
I do know that.
Okay, so if you go to the Conneaut Arts Center, I'm sure there's hundreds of people that go there for the plays, any type of rehearsals, the different classes that they put on. Mm-hmm. They must know what it's like, and so...
Believe me, every Thursday Penny's here, and she says the place in the summertime is so hot,
oh,
it's ridiculous.
Okay,
yeah.
So no more. After this campaign, we will be taking care of that.
That's great.
Yeah. So the next one is the D-Day Museum.
Yes.
And I believe that they have a 4-part plan, and they're on phase 2. And so they're going to get grant money to complete renovations for the museum.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
And then the third project is the Ashtabula County Metro Parks. They actually have 3 different projects, but one of them is Conneaut Creek. And so they're going to get money to construct a trail and steps.
Excellent. That's great too.
So I've already talked to some people. They were thrilled to hear that, quite a bit of money and projects were going to be completed in Conneaut. But we have 4 different focus areas, and one of them is parks and recreation. And so of that section, we have 4 projects, and one of them is Walnut Beach. The second one is the Metro Parks improvement, and I said that one of those was Conneaut Creek. Mm-hmm. The other 2 is Hatches Preserve and then Lamson Reservoir. And then we have the Cedar Quest Park Trail Extension. If you go down to the Indian Trails Park by Cedar Quest, we're going to build 1,800 feet worth of trail, so that way you have a clear trail to get back to the train disaster. I know that if you go to the trail behind ACMC, there's a clear path to get to the train disaster, but now there will be one on the other side as well. And then down at Orwell, they have a multi-sports facility, and they're going to get some money to do some renovations down there. The second category is arts and culture. Like I said, the D-Day Museum, Conneaut Arts Center, Ashtabula Arts Center is included in that, as well as the Antique Engine Museum. Have you ever been down to the Antique Engine Club? No. Okay. They I just went down a couple weeks ago for a tour.
In Ashtabula?
No, it's down in, I can't think now what, it's way down Route 11 on, is it 307? Yeah. Now I know, I was just there. Every 4th of July weekend, they do a big show. Antique Engine, and 10,000 people come in that one weekend.
Yeah.
So They have so many antique engines that they can't even fit it into the museum that they already have. So we're going to build them a second one so they can house the engines that they have. From agriculture, they have things all the way back from the 1800s all the way to the 1950s, and it's just a really great historical museum that the county has.
All these projects really affect thousands of people. I mean, because they go to the art center, they go to the museum,
Yeah.
they go to, that's great. That's good.
And we specifically were looking, we picked the projects that would have the most impact. I think I told you we probably had about 30 to 35 applications come in for the campaign, and we narrowed it down to these 14. So I mean, that's just the first 8. We still have, we're calling it key transit areas. We're going to put money down on Bridge Street, the Ashtabula Main Avenue. There's Kent State University, who will be included in the campaign. And then there's the Geneva I-90 interchange. There's, if you're driving, eastbound, the Geneva exit has that really nice grape symbol, and it says Geneva, and so we're going to do that on the other interchange. That way it's on both sides. But that concept was actually born out of the tourism campaign that we put on in 2010. So I know that in 2010 our campaign was about tourism, but we're still seeing those effects today, still from that campaign. And I feel like with this campaign, our focus is placemaking, but I feel like we're going to see the effects of this campaign for years to come.
Now, you mentioned metro parks areas, which I'm familiar with,
Yeah.
but now they just had a levy passed. Do they still need money to do these projects?
Yeah, so they're part of with their levy, though, the money is not, they're not getting it all at once. It's not coming in.
I don't think they get any of it this year. It doesn't start till next year.
So we are helping with that. That way they can get moving forward with some projects.
To bridge it between now and next year.
And just, assisting them in getting their office up and running, helping them during this transition period. They operated on volunteers and donations, and now it's great that they've passed this levy, but there's still a transition period, and CDC is going to be assisting them. And then I know at this point, though, they are still working on the North Shore Trail. We talked about that, so. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. This is good news. This is really going to help out the entire county.
Oh, I missed one from Conneaut.
Oh.
Conneaut Human Resource Center. So there's 4. Okay.
What they going to get?
They have a right track after school program.
They do.
And so they're going to get money for that after school program.
And that's going on right now.
Yeah.
That started up already.
And then the last project I didn't mention is Ashtabula YMCA. And then now all 14. They're all there.
What are you going to do for the Y?
For the Y. So their senior cardio center needs some upgrades and needs new equipment. The last focus area of the campaign, we're calling it seniors and children, and so just focusing on health for our seniors at the Ashtabula YMCA. The Ashtabula YMCA in particular, I mean, a lot of people from all over the county utilize it, and so it's just important that we assist them in the needs that they have to help the community.
Okay.
So, but you can go to our website. It's civicdevelopmentcorp.org, and we have a campaign video that Great Wave actually put together themselves.
Oh, with Andy and...
Yeah, worked with Andy, and it's a really nice 6 minutes long, but it talks about the projects, it talks about what placemaking is, and gives you a little bit more of what CDC is and who we are and why we're important for the community. So I do encourage that you go to our website and that you watch that campaign video.
The Civic Development Corporation is a unique local organization providing the fundraising, administration, and oversight of major capital investment projects that benefit all residents of Ashtabula County by improving quality of life. CDC has a proven track record of being socially conscious, fiscally responsible, administratively efficient, and amazingly effective. Since the founding of CDC in 1959, 11 campaigns raised over $16 million for over 200 projects in partnership with 64 community agencies. Many community institutions we take for granted today were made possible through the work of the CDC, including the Ashtabula YMCA, the Ashtabula Arts Center, Kent State University Ashtabula, the Donahoe Human Services Center, and the Greenway Trail. While some government and nonprofit grant opportunities exist for community groups, most do not provide funds for building construction or improvements, while others require significant matching funds. The CDC of Ashtabula County fills this void by providing both local matching funds to bring other investment dollars to Ashtabula County, as well as providing critical funding for building, construction, and improvement projects not normally available through traditional grant programs. CDC is excited to kick off our 12th campaign focused on placemaking. Placemaking is a multifaceted approach to the planning, design, and management of public spaces, capitalizing on a local community's assets, inspiration, and potential, with the intention of creating public spaces that promote people's health, happiness, and well-being. Placemaking as a campaign recognizes that all residents and individual employees in the county, as well as local governments, all benefit by making Ashtabula County a vibrant and energetic community. Projects scheduled to benefit from this campaign provide comprehensive improvements to community anchors all across Ashtabula County, with benefits to all residents, and are organized into 4 categories. The first is public and family recreation, with businesses and organizations focused more than ever on achieving an active lifestyle. Opportunities for public and family recreation are key considerations. Projects to enhance recreation include creating and providing access to inspirational public spaces, such as the walking trails at Cedar Quest Park, 3 undeveloped Metro Park locations, Conneaut Creek Preserve, Hatches Corner Preserve, and Lamson Reservoir. Improving recreational access with conservation of one of Lake Erie's most prized treasures, Walnut Beach, and access improvements to the Orwell Multi-Sport Facility. The second area of focus is arts and culture. Enhancing arts and culture throughout Ashtabula County includes projects for improving the performance experience at the Ashtabula Arts Center and the Conneaut Arts Center, and expansions of both the D-Day Museum in Conneaut and the Antique Engine Club Museum just outside Andover. The third area of focus is beautification of key transit areas. Any community hoping to attract and retain residents and businesses must consider the appeal of major travel routes and destinations. Projects planned to enhance and beautify Ashtabula County are improving the gateway to wine country at the I-90 and Route 534 interchange, continuing to revitalize the Ashtabula Harbor District, improving the downtown Ashtabula Main Avenue area, assisting Kent State University Ashtabula with improvements to the outdoor public spaces for students, staff, and the many residents and visitors who attend meetings, events, and seminars at this significant community asset. The fourth area of focus is health and wellness. Programs to help seniors and children include renovation and upgrades to the YMCA in Ashtabula's Cardio Center, and support of the Right Track After School and Summer program in Conneaut. CDC is excited to tackle this ambitious campaign to promote placemaking in Ashtabula County. CDC relies on people and businesses in our community to achieve our goals, and every person benefits when CDC succeeds. At the same time, it takes your personal commitment to support CDC in its goal to create more appealing and inspirational public spaces in Ashtabula County. It can happen only with your support.
I support CDC because it's been such a great fundraiser for Ashtabula County.
I give because I believe in community collaboration and working together to improve the quality of life in Ashtabula County.
I give because it supports economic growth for Ashtabula County.
I give because CDC does so many wonderful things for the community. Without their support, many of these projects would probably never happen.
I give to CDC because after living for nearly 40 years in the Ashtabula County community, I have come to believe that we all have to do what we can to improve the quality of life.
We give because we are so appreciative of the contributions CDC has made in the past, and we give because we look to leave a legacy for future generations.
Support CDC.
Support your community.
CDC's Placemaking campaign. Invest in our community. Enable the extraordinary.
Welcome back. We're with Melinda McNutt here from the CDC, and we're going to talk about placemaking, and I really don't know what that is.
Well, I can give you the textbook version and their definition, and it just states that placemaking is the act of people coming together to design, plan, program, and maintain their public spaces. But I'll give you a better example, and so it's Bryant Park, and it's a park in Lower Manhattan, and apparently it's the poster child of all placemaking stories. And so in the 1970s, this Bryant Park, it was overtaken by drug activity, prostitution, homeless people. And so around 1980 to 1990, they shut the park down and they came up with a plan to renovate it. And so today it's a very popular park to visit. It's right next to a library, and so they put out a rack of books for people to read the paper and read books in the library. You can do yoga in the morning. And so they really took, what was, unfortunately, what was affecting the neighborhood negatively. They took it, they renovated this park, and people, it was not the government that came together, it was just normal people, the private sector that came together. They renovated the park and then came up with a plan to maintain the park for years to come. And not only that, but there's a lot of different programs that happen. So like I just said, placemaking is the act of people coming together to design, plan, program, and maintain public spaces. And that's exactly what happened in Bryant Park. So our campaign kickoff was last Wednesday, and we had a lecturer from MIT. Her name is Susan Silverberg. She's an urban designer, and she came and was the keynote speaker, talked about what placemaking is. But then the next day we held an all-day seminar at the Spire. We had about 50 people from different sectors in Ashtabula County come together for this placemaking seminar. And it really was a great learning experience. But somebody mentioned that the other nice thing, though, was that when she came, because she's been to the United Nations, she's been to the Economic Development Forum in Switzerland. I mean, she's been all over. She lives in a big city. She does city planning for big cities. And so I think some people were maybe intimidated a little bit that she was going to come here and tell us how, we have all this stuff we need to do. And it really was a very positive. She really just let us know that we are on the right path, that we're doing great things, and that Ashtabula County is a really unique place. And she honestly was just sad that she couldn't stay longer and experience. She felt that our community just had a very authentic.
So what would she be pinpointing then? Is certain area to make?
So what we did in the seminar, though, was there was 50 people there, and we went around the room, and she said, I will grant you one wish. And we had to discuss, along the themes of arts and culture, parks and recreation, if we could have one wish in the community, what would it be? And so some people said, I'd like to see more art murals around the community. Somebody said, I would like to see Walnut Beach be utilized as much as Conneaut Township Park is. And so we went around the room, we came up with our 50 wishes, we put them on the board, and then we went around and we voted on which ones we liked the most. And so we came up with about 9 ideas throughout the entire day, and we sat down in groups and we discussed what are the possible barriers that might happen if we tried to make this project happen. What are ways to overcome it, and then we all had to give her our next 3 steps that we were going to do to try to make this project happen. So she really, it wasn't like she came here and said, you're going to do this, this, and this. She asked us, what do we want, and then kind of guided us as community members to take ownership of our community and to discuss how can we make something that we want to see happen come into being, and what are the next 3 steps to make that happen. So she went home with all of the notes, and she's going to check in on us in about 3 months and see where we're at with our projects.
So it'll be up to your group.
It's up to, yeah.
to carry the ball.
Yeah, but that's what placemaking is. Placemaking is, I feel, giving permission to the community members to take ownership of your community. They're
Do you think the energy and the devotion's there?
absolutely. I feel that a lot of people left inspired, enthusiastic. I feel that after being with an expert, somebody from MIT that came to our community and not only reassured us that we're headed down the right path. Our community is unique, it's authentic, we have a lot of great things here, so let's just expand on them and let's and make them better. One of the things was, one of our projects is Walnut Beach, and what we're going to do, there's a master plan for Walnut Beach, but one of them is restoring the natural habitat. That's one of the first steps. You can't move forward with any other part of the master plan until you fix the natural dunes.
No, let me get this straight, because
Okay.
I've been to both beaches in Ashtabula.
Okay.
Lakeshore is the one, that's the first one as you're going,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And it's got the parks and stuff
Yeah.
in it. Walnut's the one that's down further by Hillmax.
Yes.
Now, that beach looks like it needs, to me, it needs to be fixed up a little.
And that's what we're working on. So part of the money from our campaign will go to them. And the first part of the master plan, though, is to restore the natural habitat, the dunes. And in order to do that, you need to move the parking lot from where it is. They're going to move it back by, I think, the concession stand area.
Right.
But it'll allow for more green space. It'll allow to restore the natural habitat. And you know that birding is such a big deal here.
Big here.
Yeah, and so it's really important for the beach. But in the meantime, what we discussed, because somebody said, I wish that our Walnut Beach was utilized as much as Conneaut Township Park. And so we just discussed, well, what are some programming ideas that we could do to enhance Walnut Beach and make it a reason for people to visit. And so there's this concept with placemaking, and it's called the power of 10. And the power of 10 means that places thrive when users have a range of 10 reasons to be there. So if you take our county, you could start by asking, are there 10 destinations in our county? And then when you talk about those destinations, or talk about our county, are there 10? So I guess one example of a destination in our county might be Ashtabula City. So then you say in Ashtabula City, are there 10 destinations in Ashtabula City? And there would, for example, there's Walnut Beach, there's Bridge Street, there's Main Avenue. Those are all CDC projects for this campaign. And then in each place, you ask, are there 10 things to do? And so part of that placemaking, the project that we worked on in the seminar was, we talked about Walnut Beach. Are there 10 reasons to be there? Are there 10 things to do? And so, placemaking can be, if you're not familiar with what it is, it's a broad concept. It might not make any sense, but I really think that it's a powerful thing, and it's really good for the community because it just really gives the community, the ownership and the authority to.
You make me feel really good when you said that they want to make Walnut Beach is used as Conneaut, because we never got a lot of recognition, even though that's been a beautiful park for many years.
Yeah.
Finally, the Plain Dealer listed us as one of the top beaches in parks in along the north coast. So finally, we're getting the recognition, and I'm glad that people know that it's there and that it's being utilized. I love your positive attitude and your creativity and your energy.
Thank you.
It really, really comes out, and I think you're doing a great job. And I think this is going to happen. Unfortunately, and I'm not being a naysayer here, but I've been on committees where we go in over the years, many years, where we go in and we really want to do this, and it all just dissolves.
Well, I will say, okay, I understand we're just beginning the campaign. We haven't even fundraised the money yet, but I can say, just from the 2010 campaign, when you look at it, because I was just in Conneaut last week, I was talking to Lori McLaughlin from Biscotti's, and she said that born out of the tourism campaign, they put on a tourism summit, just like how we did with the placemaking seminar. They had people come together and they designed a tourism plan. And she said that during that seminar, they realized that the Conneaut Tourism Board was not getting bed tax dollars that they were
Correct.
entitled to. And so she was just so excited and enthusiastic that, from that campaign, what it's done for the Conneaut Tourism Board, and they just put up those new signs in Conneaut, and
Yes.
how wonderful and beautiful those are. And part of the funding, I know, came from the bed tax money that they've now been getting. So that's just one example.
That was for years.
Yeah.
They weren't getting the money. So yeah, that's good.
Just
that
one
was
example.
worked out.
And so I really feel that whatever happens in this campaign, it might take a year or two to get moving, but I really think that we are going to see some great projects come out of it. And then there's what we're calling the GAIN Fund. Anything that we raise over our campaign goal will go into the GAIN Fund, and that'll be available for additional placemaking projects that come up during the next 5 years. And so we discovered a few during the placemaking seminar, so I'm really pushing that we surpass our goals so that we have those additional dollars.
And you make a good point. Like out of the Lori McLaughlin conversation, they found from that meeting that they had, or meetings, the hole in the gap on the bed tax thing. And even if you only get 2, 3, or 4 different things out of this, you're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because it's too often, and I've seen it and heard about it over the years and watched it, that sometimes we all want things to happen, but nobody wants to get involved. And I like this project because you're getting people involved, and you get probably people that will help, together.
And I don't think we're done yet. I know that we did the seminar, but I think there's groups of people that are interested in maybe if we could kind of recreate the seminar, maybe in like an hour long lunch and learn, that other people are interested in going through the simulation, if that's what you want to call it, and go through that brainstorming process, because I think it can be recreated, and other groups of community members could come together and just brainstorm what they would like to see.
So the MIT girl, Susan, was her?
Susan Silverberg.
She will be coming back then in 3 months, or just making contact?
She's going to remain in contact with our executive director, but it's not like she just came here and said, okay, do this, and then goodbye.
Right.
She gave us the tools, and then she's going to check in. She's going to see where we're at in 3 months, and then depending on where we're at, she's going to guide us to the next step.
Okay.
And so it's great that we will still have that help from the expert further down the road.
Sure. Well, I think you're on the right track here.
Thank you.
I like it,
Thank you.
I'm so glad you come in and made those great announcements. I'm going to have you, in case some people might have missed the beginning of this.
Okay.
Tell us again what Conneaut got.
Okay, Conneaut, we're doing 4 projects. We have the Conneaut Arts Center, the D-Day Museum, Conneaut Creek, and then the Conneaut Human Resource Center.
And you're going to get an air conditioning unit for
the Conneaut
Arts Center.
Yes.
Penny will be elated, believe me.
Yes.
The Human Resource Center, you're going to help out the Right Track.
The Right Track After School program, the D-Day Museum, they're going to get dollars for constructing or for renovating the museum, and then we're going to build a trail at the Conneaut Creek.
So they would have to hire somebody to do that trail, right? I mean,
Yeah, when we received the RFPs for all of these projects, they sent us the budget that, we need this in order to complete the project. This is who would complete it. So that's already determined. I don't know if I know for sure who would exactly be constructing it, but we reviewed all of that before we even agreed to include them in the campaign.
Okay. All right.
So.
Excellent news. Good news for
Thank
Conneaut.
you. Please visit our website and watch the campaign video.
Is there? How do you get to your website?
It's civicdevelopmentcorp.org.
That's it.
That's it.
That'll do it.
And it's right there, and you can pledge for the campaign, and then there is additional information about each of the projects. So.
Very good.